Folks, we
Hooah!
are
Yes, we are.
live
As what?
from New York and Oklahoma. Yeah,
Well,
we're live in
we're
two places.
live. We may not be alive, but
We're living the good life, man. We're living as best we can.
yeah.
I am Erik Tenkar, your bartender and the OSR with the
I'm
itchy
Glen.
ear. Old Man Grognard. I always write it out as old because it's in
Oh
my
well.
head. But it should be Old Man Grognard. But all right, I'll go
Okay,
with
we're here at Dungeons Dragons Discourse, the We Didn't Go to Gen Con episode,
yes.
which is
Actually, I
probably
haven't I haven't gone
best.
to Gen Con in nearly 30 years. I went to
Once again I saw the pictures and it's like no. Uh-uh.
no, it's a cattle drive, dude. It's a cattle
Yeah.
drive. And
See
if I wanted a cattle drive, I could just go into the subway system in New York. Oh wait, the subways are empty these days because nobody wants to ride the subway. I
yeah.
forgot.
Yeah. Have you
Hello,
seen the picture where
Larry.
they had the Colt Stadium and down on the field nothing but tables and people playing.
Oh,
I
hello, Matt Jackson, and there's your Doc Cross.
I knew Doc wasn't going to go.
Gen Con blows. Well, now I was going to go to
I'm not going to argue with
Game
that
Hall,
one.
but I'm probably bowing out of Game Hall. And I mentioned that on Wednesday's show, and I've already had two people reach out to me wanting my hotel reservations. Now I'm going to warn these people if they hear this episode. I wasn't getting convention rates, so your 5 nights are probably around I don't know $1,100-$1,200. I'd have to double check. So it's just like I'm going to so many conventions as it is. I got North Texas. I've got ShireCon. I've got TotalCon. We're looking to add the Philadelphia convention at the right after the New Year.
And
So
occasionally Gary Con, right?
Gary Con's gonna have to really do it for me to get me to go back to Gary Con. Only because it's listen, Game Hole is nice because you can get a hotel shuttle. Uh, Gary Con from the airport. Gary Con is rent a fucking car, and I do not enjoy renting cars.
Understood. Understood. They dropped, but well, sorry, I can't afford it either, Doc. And as far as COVID protocols, I won't go to a con with it that has COVID.
Oh yeah, no,
Period.
I'm done with
I
that shit.
retired. I retired my mask.
All right, we listen. And now I'm gonna say I gotta make that statement that covers your ass. How does Jimmy Dore say it? The vaccines are they slow spread and they help defend you against infection, but um, they told us that it stopped the spread. It doesn't stop the spread. So whether somebody's
Well,
vaccinated or not is a little
mhm.
consequence at this point.
Well, if I ever get to go to DundraCon again, I hope they don't have COVID protocols. That is California, you know.
You know, um,
Origins, yeah, that's a good one.
I've heard Origins was very good.
I went to
I
the last one before they stopped moving around. That was San Jose.
heard that Con on the Cob is pretty good, but usually it's the same weekend or right around it
I
as
keep
Game.
trying to get there, and I never do because I know. No, I can't think of his name. Great. I know the guy who created it.
Oh,
I
okay.
worked with him a little bit during third edition with some monster books and stuff. He's the one who got me to go to. He got to go to the Gamma Trade Show.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, the company was promoting our book, and it's like, you want to come to the Gamma Trade Show? Sure.
Well, Con on the Cob is one I could possibly do.
Andy Hop. He's a great
Oh,
guy
okay.
too.
Yes, the name's very familiar. Don't know him personally,
Yes.
but I do remember the name from social media. Like Con on the
Mhm.
Cob is in what, Ohio, right?
I believe so. Yeah. During
Yeah.
October.
Yep. Like I said, it's right around Game Hall. I could drive that in a day and a half,
Hmm.
and it makes it a lot more affordable than flying with two people. So
Andy Hop created the game Low Life for Savage Worlds.
okay.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
They've had COVID protocols at DundraCon the last 2 years.
That's too
Waiting
bad.
to see about 2024. I know.
Like I said, it's California.
I'm with Glen in this one. Masks, and listen. I got my first 2 COVID shots, and I got the booster, and now we're finding out that there's been a lot of issues, heart issues, because of the shots and the booster. Well, I say a lot, a couple percent, which is more than enough for a vaccine that was never fully vetted. That's the reason why they're immunized against lawsuits, because it was never fully vetted. So, yes, Rach?
That's the case too.
Yeah, I know. TXG, welcome, and Matt, you banned yourself from traveling to Cali.
I have not. I just can't get there.
I would consider going to San Diego. San Diego is the only part of California I have any interest in going. But I'm afraid if I go to San Diego, I'm going to like that.
Don't want to go to Long Beach and see where old man Grognard came from, the little house that he was raised in? I don't know.
Long Beach, where you were spawned, Glen?
Well, actually, I was spawned in L.A., but I grew up in Long Beach.
Oh, okay.
I was adopted from L.A., so.
Communist state. Listen, Matt, I live in New York. we're just a socialist state. We're working our way up the ladder. Oh, did I say ladder, Matt? I'm sorry. We're trying to climb the stairs to the proper place. Ladders are one of those X cards with Matt Jackson. I don't want him going into shock. Tom, welcome. Tammy. What in the world?
Hi, Tammy. Hello, Tammy.
Today. All right. So, Tammy, when Rach and I got home from spending our afternoon with our niece, and before that, my sonogram of my kidneys, woohoo! Fun times. We turned on our YouTube on our TV, and I see that one of the things is some update from the NYPD with Chief of Department Matry. I'm like, and listen, I don't know this Chief of Department personally, but I heard about him when I was still active, and he sounded like an active guy. He seems to be a guy who puts his hands on people, even as a 4-star chief, and apparently a social influencer that the NYPD is not naming because I don't want to give him any more influence. Did a pop-up social media, hey, I'm giving away a few game systems at Union, I think it was Union Square Park. And what I guess the social media guy, influencer, thought was going to be a couple of hundred people was a couple of thousand. And they started doing what happens, and it's just human nature. When you get a certain number of people together, it starts acting and reacting as an uncontrollable beast of sorts. It's human nature. It has very little to do with age. But if you
mob mentality,
you get that mob mentality going. I've dealt with it, and the NYPD was not prepared for it. They didn't know this event was coming. They didn't have cops stationed there. Once they started getting cops to respond, the crowd started attacking each other and the cops. And then they apparently raided a construction site and were walking along with shovels and axes and planks of wood to beat the shit out of each other and cops. So yeah, it was a fucking mess. I'll try to find out more later, but that's the bit that I got from the internet.
This is news to me.
Doc says he banned himself from traveling to Texas and Florida and the Deep South.
Oh, that means he's not going to be ever coming to North Texas RPG Con, whether he's special guest or not. That saves me some trouble.
Damn.
Oh, let me do a plug for somebody here.
Do a plug.
I have
Do
a
a plug.
new.
Do a plug.
Well, I have a new FLGS. I'm in Moore, and right next to us is Norman, where OU is. And my friend DM Dave just opened a game store, and he
Oh,
also
wow.
publishes DM Dave's games, books and games, games and books, or whatever. So, and I thought I'd give him a plug. He's at Gen Con right now. So he has a really nice store too. I says, "You're my new game store." He says, "Well, thank you, because you're carrying the indie stuff. And the other game store don't carry the indie stuff."
But it's all
Because,
like Watson and Paizo and maybe Goodman.
well, they'll carry whatever their distributor has. They're not going to go out of their way to try and contact these people to carry their
Right.
stuff.
They're not going to dig deep into the catalog and go, oh, well,
Right.
what?
You know, I
What
found Frog God stuff there, but it was all the 5e stuff. So, you know, take for that what you will. But DM Dave is going to be my new game store. He publishes, but it's all 5e. He says, "I love OSR, but 5e pays the bills." I said, "I understand. It's okay. You know, do what you do."
You know, we've had that discussion. A lot of publishers, you know, look at, like you just said, Frog God Games. Frog God publishes for 5e to be able to pay its people, but also
Yeah.
publishes for now OSE, occasionally Castles and Crusades. I believe they have a Call of Cthulhu license to produce. So,
Mhm.
you know, but you do need what's that song like? Shake Your Money Maker. You got to have something
Yeah.
that brings in the money.
Yeah.
Now
So
that's
my old game store, I saw their 5e and Pathfinder stuff, and that was it.
yeah. Matt, did I ever get some solo gaming in on my trip to the Pokies? I don't think I saw you post anything about that about solo since that first video. No, I did not. And oh, geez, wait, I got some other. Was it OSC solo gaming book that I just got that Tuesday from drive through. So I'm trying to get some solo gaming in before the summer months are out. Actually, what I'm going to probably have to do, knowing me, is set aside a nice afternoon in the backyard on the picnic table and just step away from everything. Because if I'm here at my desk, what happens? You get distracted. You hear bing, bing, bing. Oh, there's updates on Discord, updates on Facebook, updates on social media. You know, I'll have to
Yeah,
be
I know the
outside.
feeling.
I'll
I
have my classic
know the
rock.
feeling.
Have my classic rock playing. Now, then, my only fear will be my neighbor. She's a very sweet woman.
Mhm.
She happens to be Chinese. She speaks, I don't know, 4 words of English. Hello. And everything else is Chinese, but she wants to talk, and she always wants to point out things in my garden. So I'll just have to make sure I keep a low profile when I'm out there. But yeah,
Oh,
no, I
so
still have to.
you listen to your classic rock and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, break out the
Oh,
classic.
speak of, let's take a brief detour into Blu-ray land, or DVD land, I should say. No, just a brief tour. I found something that now I'm going to be putting on the DVD player when I have to do housework or anything. Watch this.
Uh-oh.
I found this for like $20 at half price, folks. Believe it or not.
What do you got?
Look at this.
The complete. Whoa.
The complete Monterey Pop Festival.
All right, so who was there?
Not only was did they have the film Monterey Pop that D.A. Benebaker made, but 2 other discs where he gave you all the performances they left out of the movie, like Otis Redding, Jimi Hendrix. Look at this. Look, there's Janis right there.
Damn,
Janis Joplin, The Who. Yeah. It's beautiful. Otis at Monterey, Jimmy plays Monterey, and the outtake performances. So yeah, I could just put this on and just do my housework and stuff and just listen to it.
Elle says she comes onto the stream and it gives me diabetes and toe fungus. Check your ad settings. All right, so listen.
Come again?
I'm going to be like, what was it, Wilbur Grimley? If you've got the diabetes, I happen to be a type 2 diabetic. I don't know why it's giving you those, but the toe fungus, I can't help you. I can't help you with the toe fungus. It never been an issue. I understand, though, if you get the toe fungus, it sticks around. So maybe if it's an issue, maybe you want to watch the ads. I don't know. And Doc says his two older cousins were at Monterey.
Wow, that was 1967. And there was only one.
I was born in 67, so obviously I was not there.
I was born in 57, and I missed the whole thing.
Gosh damn it, the heck!
Well, the fun 60s stuff didn't happen. See, my teenage years landed in the 70s, unfortunately. So,
Gotcha. Mine landed in the early 80s. Fun times. Commodore 64 is coming into play. Doc was 13 in 67, and Tammy wasn't even born yet.
He is older than me. Ooh. Oh, okay, wow. but anyway, this is a lot of fun. They still sell that.
Very nice, man. Very nice.
You just want to put something on and just go do your business, and it's great. It's great. I feel so,
Peace, man. Or I'm gonna do the Vulcan on both. I can't do it on this hand anymore since I tore the ligaments here. I can't, but I can do a good Vulcan with my left hand.
Oh yeah. So, what has been happening in the gaming sphere lately? By the way, what are you drinking?
I am just, you know what? I'm drinking like Orange Crush in a, the little mixed thingies that you get that you put in a 20-ounce bottle. I find that one of those lasts for like 4 of these bottles because otherwise it's too strong, and even though it's sugar free, it feels like a sugar rush. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I can understand that, Doc.
Yeah. So nothing alcoholic. That'll be for later. I'll get my wine out.
Okay. Okay.
But
I just had a soda, so I'm good.
Yeah, see, look at that. We're both not drinking for the cast, folks. We're sorry about that.
If we were at a con, I'd be drinking.
I would break out the Buffalo Trace, but the Buffalo Trace got drunk out on Sunday on my birthday. It was a big hit when we brought that out for the barbecue.
So what kind of booze or wine or anything goes with a D&D game?
Now, I would have to say mixed drinks, no. I would say if you're going to do listen, if you really want to make an atmospheric D&D game, you got to bring to the table stuff that would be at the table in a faux medieval time. And what are you going to be talking about? Likely whiskey, likely mead, maybe a hoppy beer, maybe a lager. But, beer definitely. And wine, you know what? I'm assuming a red wine. That's usually what you see in the faux TV and movies where they show wine. It's always red because if it's white, it looks like water. And remember,
TTT's right. Mead and ale.
Beer and ale was like water to these people because if you wanted to make sure you were drinking something that was not corrupted, if it was beer, the alcohol would make sure that there was nothing untoward living in your liquid refreshment. It was a weaker beer. Remember too, like wine
Okay.
back then was a weaker wine. That's the reason why people go, "Oh, the French were drinking wine with every meal, and their kids were too." Yeah, but it wasn't the 14% alcohol that our wines have now.
It was
It
more
was a
like grog.
yeah, it was much weaker, but again, it gave you a clean source of drinking water, essentially.
Yeah, something like that. Well, I remember drinking Knob Hill at one of Mike's B1 games
Ah,
over in
okay.
Maine. Oh,
So
clownfish. Yeah.
Hasbro lost 125 million in the D&D movie and have reduced products for 2023 and 2024. And
Good.
they sold off E1, which they purchased for $4 billion.
Finally,
Yes, Lionsgate is picking up E1. They picked it up for $4 billion right before the pandemic, and they're letting it go for $325 million plus outstanding
that's
loans on production. So basically,
that's
for $500 million, they're letting it go. So that's just buy it for $4 billion.
so Lionsgate is going to make the next D&D movie.
Well, the rights to the D&D movie, I think, still remain with Hasbro,
Hasbro.
and
Okay.
I think they retained the rights to Transformers and
G.I. Joe and
G.I.
yeah.
Joe and Peppa Pig, because the neck. I can't stand Peppa. Not that it's a bad show, and just as an adult, I can't stand Peppa. Peppa Pig. Goblin Grog, water and rum mix.
Rum mix. Yummy.
L says whiskey sour for D&D.
Guinness Stout. Good.
Okay, it would have been
Oh
back
God.
in the day, it would have
Cocaine
been a
and
bottle
or
of tequila at the table. Puts a bit of cocaine and or weed.
my Thursday game. Weed.
Matt's going to correct me. I'm going to go back to the prior comment in a second. The story about water being dangerous is actually a myth. Okay.
All right.
Well, all right. I've been correct. And if anybody's going to correct me, it's going to be Matt Jackson. Because usually Matt and I are on the same page like 90% of the time, which scares the fuck out of me, by the way. Just so you know that, Matt. The fact that you and I can like walk side by side. And so if you're going to correct me, I'll take that correction. Local
Student from
433 Columbia.
Best con in Southern California, not driving in San Jose, San Francisco. I'd have to say DundraCon. That's the only one I know that's still going. And that's in San Ramon. So you're like just at the bottom of the peninsula there. More animals peeing in rivers, and then everyone drilled wells. Okay.
Well, yeah, what wells were.
Well,
There's a reason why, cities sprung up where they did a lot of times because they had fresh water sources that were on the surface,
that's true.
or they had natural springs. It's as time progressed, that we were able to build wells, drill wells. The Romans had aquifers, but that was a technology that was lost in the Middle Ages.
Well, if you don't like San Diego, just take 2 steps over to Mexico. Take 2 steps over to there.
Take 2 steps over and 1 step back.
And boom, you're in Tijuana.
Santa Clara for DundraCon.
Oh, really? They moved it. That's right. I forgot.
Oh my gosh. My gooshness, Glen. My gooshness.
Yeah, these cons tend to outgrow their hotels, don't they? Don't they, Eric?
Look at GaryCon. GaryCon had listen, I mentioned this on Wednesday. The big flap about GaryCon this year is the questionnaire that popped up as people were trying to get their gold badges, and I had never bothered worrying about that shit because I was always going as a vendor, and I was running games for Frog Gods. I wasn't really playing in any. I wasn't registering for events, but it's like North Texas. I mean, Glenn, you've been part of that cattle drive on April 15th, right at 1 a.m., trying to
Oh
get games.
yes.
Now,
I no longer do that.
I know.
Hell,
Now,
Gage doesn't even do it.
Yeah, I did it my first year or two, and that was staying up until 1 a.m. on a work night when I had to be at work at 6 a.m. So I was like, but my God, yeah. So now,
New York's finest.
well, I hope I made a good representation, but I left before I got too old. How about that? But
Good idea.
policing's a young man's job, in any case. But yeah, like Gary Kahn had an issue because that questionnaire. There were people that large number that were bitching and complaining they couldn't get their gold badge, and then you had the people who got the gold badge who were like, and this is what always blows my mind. I got it, and I'm the one going, "Oh, what's the big deal about getting a gold badge? I wouldn't be all upset if I didn't get it, but I got mine. But if I didn't get it, I wouldn't be bitching. Yes, you would be bitching and complaining. You'd be bitching and complaining just like the person is that couldn't get it because of the pop-up survey. Or, well, it's not my fault. Everybody had the same survey. Not everybody realized that you could do X X X X X X X and not answer the survey. It's just dumb planning. Pop that survey up after people register. I know you're not going to have the same number of people responding to it. So what? Customer service.
You got that?
Orcon.
I don't
LA,
know.
no idea.
I don't know if they do or not, but the ones I went to, I really enjoyed.
Tijuana, speaking about not drinking the water. That goes for, you know what? That goes for a lot of, and it's not a slam on these countries. If you're a native and you're drinking the water, your body gets used to the contents of the water, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, going to the Bahamas, and you were told at the hotel, don't drink the drinking water, don't drink the tap water. And this is like, again, 30 years
Let's go
ago.
boil it first.
Yeah. Well, and because it could give you what they call Montezuma's revenge, it could upset your stomach, and it wasn't upsetting the stomach of people who've been drinking it all their lives because their body's grown accustomed to whatever it is that might be causing those issues. So we just had a lot of bottled water. That was standard, and they told you, the hotel said we make our ice using bottled or filtered water. Be careful eating out at non-chain restaurants in the Bahamas because they may be using tap water for the ice. So you may think, well, I got a Coca-Cola, I'm safe. But if you're using that with ice that was made with local tap water, you could be in for a surprise.
Oh, yeah. You're right. There does need to be a central website.
There should be, and listen, I try
Tabletop.
and I tried to keep up to date on that a couple of years ago, and the issue is that you don't get updates from these cons, and the community itself. Listen, if I'm not interested in a convention that's devoted to tunnels and trolls, and I would be, but maybe you aren't. Well, if you hear about it, you might not pass the word on. And then I don't hear about it and I don't know about it. So it becomes a problem. And tabletop events, kind of, you can go there and look, but it has everything and it doesn't really break it down by which is OSR, which is 5e, which is an indie game. I don't believe it breaks it down like that. 2 NYPD got mugged today at that Twitch streamer
Ooh.
giveaway.
Wow.
Like I said, I saw an update on that. The detail when the chief of department is apologizing in front of the cameras for his uniform being dirty, he's like, "Hey, I had to put my hands on people. I was in the
He was
scruff."
doing his job.
Yeah, it tells you that it was a legitimate issue. Matt, dysentery, number one cause of casualties in war. Yes,
Yeah, I've heard that.
I've heard of that. Yeah, and people forget about that. Listen, an army marches on their stomach, but they die on the poor hygiene habits. If you don't have good hygiene habits, it's going to be a huge issue. That's one of the reasons why I have one of those. Actually, I have two. I have 2 life straws in my trunk. Never know where you're going to be, what's going to happen, what life's going to bring. But I like to make sure that I can turn most anything into survivable drinking water at the turn of a hat if necessary. Life straws are cheap enough. You can grab them on Amazon. They often go on sale for things like Black Friday. Get them. I have 2 in my trunk and 2 in my house.
What are
I
they?
get life straws. So what
Oh,
they
life
do,
straws. Yeah.
they'll
All the
filter
bush,
out pretty much
all the
any.
bushcraft guys carry those.
Yep.
There's no table to. Oh man, that's when you start one.
Damn it, Tammy.
Is
Connecticon.
Connecticon, is that like just a fantasy and sci-fi con? If so, I can understand. A lot
Yeah.
of them, I've been to like a couple of. I worked one, and it's like the RPG room there. It was like crickets.
Yeah, I went
Nobody.
to one. Yeah, I went to one. Oh my God, back in the 80s in Westchester County, and God knows if I can remember what it was called. My first and only time taking the Metro North, and we were looking to me and my friend figured, oh, it'll be a good convention to find gamers. It was you could buy as many old fantasy and science fiction novels as you wanted, and maybe bump into artists, but there was very little gaming, and only people that we met were into gaming. Were a little bit on the weird spectrum, and when I got an invite, we were in our young 20s, and I was generously considering this budding girl, 16, and her 2 friends, maybe 18, and they wanted us to share a room with the 3 of them because we only came up for the day. I was like, oh yeah, when's that next Metro North train coming? Because I think we got to go back to the city because this is bizarre. Tarrytown's where it was held, but I forget the name of the convention.
Tarrytown?
Tarrytown,
Ooh.
probably now. Yeah, LTT tabletop event only has cons with games.
Okay.
Oh, they showed up to do a Star Frontiers history panel. No games to sign up for, then TTE offers nothing about the convention. Well, that's another that's an issue too. I mean, listen, I live in New York City. There's my kitty's here. There's very little in southern New York when it comes to conventions.
Well, here in Oklahoma, I'm sorry, what?
Probably too expensive to run conventions in New York, in the metro
Well,
area.
out here they just started up SoonerCon again, but that's mainly a sci-fi fantasy type con. I hear they have gaming there, but I've never been to it, so it's not exactly something that interests me.
Okay.
Not gaming, I mean. I shouldn't be that way, but hey.
Yeah. You're old Man Grognard, Glen. You can be whatever the hell you want.
Oh yeah.
If you don't identify with fantasy and science fiction, well, that's all right.
To hell with it.
The hell, it's still good in my book. Damn
Oh
it.
yeah. I mean, I saw that Gen Con picture of the Colts Stadium where the entire field was covered with tables and people playing. I'd love to go there just to run up on the field and go, get off my lawn.
There you go. See, I should have thought about that the one day I got to go out in Yankee Field at the end of one of the playoff games in 2001. Get off my lawn! But nobody charged the field. I was hoping for a little, And of course, in retrospect, it's like, wow, I should have reached down and ripped off a clump of turf. I didn't think of it.
You could take it home and plant it or something.
Or just say, put it behind glass. This turf was taken from Yankee Stadium on October, whatever. 2001. This is, when after baseball paused, for a couple of days because of the World Trade Center attacks.
Yeah, that happens. Should have seen what happened remember the Seismic series?
I was watching that on my black and white TV in the basement, my Commodore 64 TV. And actually, it was a black and white. Actually, it might have been color, but I only got black and white over the air usually.
I was living there when that earthquake happened. And the Oakland Bridge, kaboom, like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I think 30 people lost their lives because they got crushed. And they had to, was the Giants versus it was the two California teams, it was Dodgers and I think it was
Dodgers Angels?
No. What's the team? Oh, no, that's football, dummy. I was going to say the A's. The A's.
A's. I was going. It can't be the Padres.
A's and the Dodgers. Yeah, they had to stop for a couple of nights until they can. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, well, we got to make sure the stadium is safe. I mean, that's something that, I remember feeling an earthquake in New York City. I was sharing an office with my inspector. And we're having a discussion, and we were right on Hudson Street, so a lot of traffic would come by. Every once in a while there'd be a little bit of a rumble from a truck, but this wasn't like a truck rumble. I looked at him, he looked at me, and went, "Is that a fucking earthquake?" And then we had New York One on, and right away, New York One is earthquake in New York City. I'm like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "God
That's
damn
right.
it."
I remember the year that in the middle of, I wasn't living there then, but in the middle of Silicon Valley, a tornado turned up.
Well, I remember that out, but we had they said it wasn't a tornado. It was multiple wind shear events. And wind shears might as well be a tornado. It pulled trees out of the ground, leaving the roots behind. It took off roofs. So this was a day that my son was in training to be an auxiliary police officer, and he was in Manhattan, and I left to drive in to pick him up, and after an hour and a half, I made it maybe a mile and a half. Traffic in the city was a standstill. So I just turned around. I couldn't even get back to my house. I had to park up by a half mile away by our local gas station on a side street, because even local avenues were just parking lots. And I called my son. I'm like, "Chris, you got to take the train home." He goes, "Why?" I go, "Because I'll get to you by tomorrow morning at best. I'm not getting out to you. This shit ain't moving." I mean, it was a hell of a storm. I watched lightning struck one of those the power pole a half block from my house. It hit the control box, whatever. So power flickered. And then power went off for a couple of blocks. I was like, "Holy shit!" So I have pictures of that somewhere on my phone. It was one hell of an event.
By the way, this is tangentially related to that. I plan on going to North Texas RPG Con through 2025. After that, I don't know. The reason it's 2025 is because that's when Gage turns 21.
Uh-oh.
And that means I've just got to last 2 more tornado seasons.
Why? Where you moving, sir? Where you moving?
Nowhere really. I mean, in the area, No, it's not what I'm moving. It's just, Becky and them were starting to say, "Aren't you getting a little too old to do that?" And
Dude,
it's like,
dude, you're not Tim Kask age. You're not.
well,
Frank
I'm hoping. Well, I know, but I'm hoping I can still go after 2025. But I'm committed to at least 2025.
If I get you a doctor's note, can you show up? If I get a doctor to sign off on it, this is our doctor's note.
You get the doctor to give me about $1,000. Yeah, I'll show up.
Yeah. Doctor, can you give Glen Halston a note?
After 20, I don't know how poor we're going to be by then. But anyway, and I just say it. I'm just saying,
Okay.
like, every year I got to get through the tornado season before I can go to the con. I guess that's what I have to. That's how I earn the con, I guess.
Fair enough.
By not getting hit by a tornado.
And having shit wiped out. Yep. Did I see Sly Flower's playtest review of Shadow Drop? No, I did not. I had to look that up. Sly Flower's Sly Flower does a decent job usually. So I'd be interested in seeing it. Was it a positive review, negative, neutral? I mean, we did 2 playtests on my channel, and it was very positive. Oh, it was a Bart series.
Yeah. So yeah.
SDAs.
And then it got the name the Seismic series after the earthquake.
There you go. All right, generally positive. All right, I will need to check it out.
Good.
Yeah.
So have you been slinging any dice lately?
I've been slinging dice every other Tuesday, and Joe the Warrior's game.
And how does that go?
His AD&D by the book, if you consider by the book to be 22 pages of house rules. No, it's been going very well. It's been a lot of fun. So next game is this coming Tuesday. So that should be good. And Glenn, since I got you on the line, our next show, I actually just got tickets for Jimmy Dore, the YouTuber / comedian. He's a lefty, but my kind of lefty. So I have tickets to see him on that Friday. Can we move to Thursday for that week? If you got a game, you got a game.
What is the date?
All right, hold on. Let me look at my watch. The 17th.
17th. Boom. I will make time. That's Matt's Thursday game. He does it every other week, but I will make time.
All right. So we will move to
unless you just want to skip it and
Listen, I'm trying to serve our adoring public. And Jimmy only comes to New York like once a year, and I was like, oh. So we actually got the premiere seats. We get the meet and greet after. So it's like, Rach, this is like like a late birthday present, early anniversary present.
Then go.
So that's what I'm saying. If you want to do the day early, we'll discuss offline.
Yeah, we'll do it Thursday. Yeah, fine.
All right.
If people can fill in for me while I'm gone, I can accommodate you.
Local 433 Gumby, San Francisco quake. My parents' plane took off 5 minutes before the quake hit. They landed and saw the TVs with coverage of what they had just missed. Wow.
I was living in San Jose at the time, and I just got out of my car and I stood in the middle of the street and watched the building shake. I figured the middle of the street was the safest place in case they fell.
Not a bad idea. Elle says that Gen Z is saying after 30 people shouldn't be gaming or watching cartoons. By the way, my dirty little secret is that when I am on the treadmill, I've been watching the Green Lantern animated series. I'm enjoying it. It brings it's a Hal Jordan that kind of fits into the Hal Jordan that I grew up with. So and we just got to the meeting Guy Gardner for the first time. So this is
I
my
like the
guilty
jerk.
pleasure. Yeah, this is my guilty pleasure. So
You know,
yeah.
one of my favorite when the boys had a Nintendo Wii. One of my favorite games to watch or play on there was Batman: The Brave and the Bold, based on the TV series. Because it's a two-player game, one would play Batman, the other would play the other guest star, whatever. It was like
Oh, okay.
a side scroller. It was a side scroller, but they made it like it was like an episode of the series. Everyone was an episode of the series. And first one he teams with is Robin, of course. And then he teams with like Hawkman and not Plastic Man, but and every once in a while I can get another hero come in and do their thing, and then they leave to be it's like their extra attack.
Right.
I remember Aquaman. He floods the place, and all of his fish run over the bad guy, including a whale.
Nice.
But one of my favorite parts is they did one episode where he had to be teamed with Guy Gardner, and that was interesting.
I like Guy. I like oh god, John Stewart. Why am I saying John Stewart? Stewart, the third Green Lantern from Earth. His character was a solid character. I mean, but I was always the Hal Jordan fan. I started collecting when I was in elementary school. Whenever they had the DC explosion, when they went from 35 cents to 50 cents, and then 3 months later down to 40 cents because they couldn't keep the price up, but they needed a price increase. So you got chopped up stories that were written for 25-page 50-cent books that were now 19, 20-page 40-cent books, and they just chopped out panels and pages. So these stories became very disjointed for the next few months. I remember that quite distinctly. But yeah, I was a DC fan. I know most of my friends were Marvel fans as a kid, but I was a DC fan.
I can go either way. I marvel. Sorry, pun intended. I marvel at the way that each one has they each have a distinctive feel about them.
Right.
Similar, but you just get this vibe, different vibe from each of them, which
You're right.
is what I like.
I mean, I like from Marvel, I would pick up an occasional Daredevil. I was hooked on West Coast Avengers for a while, but I didn't care about the Avengers. Amazing Spider-Man. I came in at right when McFarlane came in. I figured out the timing for that one, but my copies are well read, so they're not worth all that much.
Oh yeah.
We all know what that's like. Battle of the Super Friends. Oh my God, yes.
And then there was the years I spent playing Champions, and now these days, if I play it, it's usually Marvel Face Rip.
See, I never got into playing Supers games. Like there are a few games. Listen, as a writer, you find a way when you're writing a comic book to balance Green Lantern and Batman, or Superman and Batman, or Hawkman and I don't know, Elongated Man and Plastic Man. But the reality is, they're not equal characters, right? Superman is Superman, and Batman is Batman, and they have to fight.
Actually, the DC Heroes game got it right, the way they did their scaling.
Oh, okay.
You could have the Justice League with Batman and Superman on the same team.
True.
In fact, I'm looking over here at my shelf, and I don't have that, but I do have the Blood of Heroes, which is the clone version of DC Heroes. And they scrubbed all the the identifiers off and they put it out.
Right. Okay. Well, I
It's the
think
same system.
right. Wasn't Underground the same system too? But
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
uh, just for the baddies. We're the baddies. Yes, just for
It's
the baddies.
it's more like a dystopian. You take DC or Marvel and combine it with Aeon Flux, and you'd have Underground
Okay.
or Gamma World or something like that. So anything
Legion.
anything dystopian, even Judge Dredd.
Oh yeah. Legion of Doom had better villains than Marvel. I think you're right on that one. Marvel was not good. Marvel was good at telling these arcing stories that had character development, and DC was good at having super battles between, you know, these
Uh-huh.
two strong personalities. I mean, look at Batman. Batman's list of baddies, they're all perfect for what they do, and they're all iconic. And then Superman had Lex Luthor and Brainiac and Solomon
Yeah,
Grundy,
and all those like Mr. Mixelplick and all
and
those other guys.
Bizarro. Yeah, and Bizarro.
Bizarro was fun. I like the way
Yeah,
they did it in the DC animated. Bizarro came off like if the Frankenstein monster played Superman.
yeah. Me am Bizarro. Me
Yeah,
am
he was
me am
just he
love
was just
Lois
he was
Lane.
yeah he was like kind of endearing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he was childlike in his simplicity. He wasn't
Yes.
evil, generally speaking.
Yeah.
He was
And I
uh,
love the way they take prototypes of Marvel characters and twist them a bit. Like Solomon Grundy is basically, what if the Hulk was a zombie?
yeah. And
You
but
can't kill him.
but now, who came first, Swamp Thing or Man Thing? Because
That I don't know. Very
they are
close.
very similar characters, very similar.
Who was imitating who?
Yeah. Oh, DC was they were in the Laugh Olympics. I didn't remember that. Your Honor, I don't recall. And yes, it was
No,
a
they
much
weren't.
simpler time.
Although the Blue Falcon was and Dynamite. I remember
Uh,
that.
Warlord was a lot of fun. Made no sense, but it was a lot of fun. Jonah
Mhm.
Hex was another one that was a lot of fun. It was
Mhm.
underrated. Uh, I used to enjoy. Was it was the Fury? Sergeant Fury was
Oh,
Marvel.
Sergeant Rock. Sergeant
Sergeant
Rock.
Rock. Sergeant Rock.
And then there's the Doom Patrol. I like the Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol was pretty good. And then there was a rebooted Animal Man that was interesting. That was by I think Garth Ennis.
And
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
Suicide Squad, I couldn't get into. It's like they were trying to do the Dirty Dozen with superheroes.
Yeah, yeah, and I know that like they've got Amanda Waller. She appears in the movies. She appears in the spin-off series on demand.
Yeah, she's all over the place.
Yeah, she's like their continuity. She is like basically their Nick Fury, for DC. She's the character that kind
Uh,
of links.
who's not completely on the level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, they
Uh,
twist them a little when they go over to DC. Um, I was for years I thought over on Marvel I thought Moon Knight was their version of Batman.
okay. I could see that. I certainly could. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of. There are certain characters that really weren't duplicated, but there are certainly ones like Wonder Man was Superman. You know, uh, although you could
I
actually
thought,
say that you know, 'cause Wonder Man was the was it the Hollywood hero, always appearing in the movies with his sunglasses on. But
Yep. Well,
these are
yeah,
things that,
it's very interesting.
and it's interesting too that like comics have changed so much. And it's if you want to see the heroes as they were when we
Hmm.
were growing up, you got to watch the cartoons, you got to see the movies,
Yep.
and they capture the essence of the heroes as they were. If you try reading a new comic book by DC, by Marvel, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this? This isn't Captain
Yeah.
America. This isn't Green Lantern.
See, this is what fueled my group's champions games. I mean, I had one guy who liked to play the Marvel stuff, and they say, "Oh, can you play Thor?" He says, "Well, what power level of Thor do you want?" Say the same thing about Cap. What power level do you want? I got a 500 point Thor. I've got a 750 point Thor. How do you want him? That
Mr.
kind of
Gunn,
thing.
that's interesting. Man Thing
He's
was
he's
May
also
71.
he's
Swamp
also the
Thing,
one
July
he's
71.
also the one who said Martian Manhunter is Superman on a budget.
Well, he has fire as his weakness, right?
Yep.
So he was always a character that couldn't
And he was
push.
always a character who'd forget his powers. Oh yeah, I figured out the last minute I could do this.
Oh wait, I have energy beam eyes. Wait, I have super strength. Wait,
I
I
can
can
I can
fly.
I can I can density increase.
Oh yeah,
So man thing came first. Okay.
but not by so they're almost like parallel development, and I would be very surprised if the
Mm-hmm.
creators of both weren't kind of like in cahoots a little bit. Very interesting. So Man Thing debuted in Savage Tales #1, and Swamp Thing debuted in House of Secrets '92.
Okay. 71 May and July. Yeah. Two months gap there.
Oh, excuse me, that was a hell of a belch.
You belched.
I belched. Oh, Tom says his mom saved his comics from the '70s, Star Trek and Star Wars comics, and some Archie. Nothing worth anything as they were
I
tapped.
read a lot of Archie when I was a kid. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
was.
why. I don't know. The supers, I didn't get into the supers at the time.
Yeah, but it might have been some parallel development going on there. You're right.
Anyone
Anyone here?
eventually?
Huh?
I've never watched it, but I do have on my shelf over there the 2 seasons of Freakazoid, and they did Toby Danger,
I see. I
which
never
was a,
checked it
which was
out.
a Toby Danger. It was a straight up Johnny Quest satire. Absolutely hilarious. They even got the same guys who did Dr. Quest and Race Bannon to do the voices.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yes.
Wonder
Power
Twin.
Twins. Power Twins. Form of a dog bowl. Shape. I was like, oh Jesus, no, no. One can be an animal and one can be something not. No, why would they?
Water. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had the dog, right? Didn't they have like
Yeah.
yeah? The Super Twins were uh, Super Friends versus the Legion of Doom.
Doom. Oh,
Actually, what I
okay.
enjoyed when the rare occasions. Remember, you didn't have stuff on demand. When you could find the original Marvel shorts, when Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those that chose
Oh,
to oppose his shield
that
must yield. You
yield
know, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man,
does what
Spider-Man.
it does whatever a spider can. Yeah.
Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out. Or
Iron Man does whatever an iron can. Folds shirts, makes them.
then what? The mighty Thor had his own stuff.
Oh, the Rainbow Bridge of
Yeah,
Asgard.
Then you had the Incredible Hulk song with the Hulk. When you could find that, the animation sucked, but it looked so much like a comic book from the 60s.
It was like, well, here's what they did. Here's what I saw a YouTube video on this. It was a double-edged sword. The animation was barely animation, made Filmation look like Disney. But at the same time, they were taking like panels out of the comic book, like Jack Kirby stuff, and trying to move them.
Right.
And yeah.
And
but it was Jack Kirby.
Right. No,
You know.
no, definitely. So now, and then DC, the only way you were going to get like Aquaman or Green Lantern was the DC shorts, and they were rare to find on commercial TV because nobody wanted to pay for them. I should be looking for them on YouTube or on demand because that stuff was classic for the time. I mean, my favorite superhero was Green Lantern, but my second favorite was Aquaman. But I never really understood the character, because who actually knew what Arthur did? It was like, born of man and mermaid, Arthur can spend up to an hour a day, an hour at a time, out of water, after which he must splash his face in a public urinal in order to.
Well, what I didn't get is the Marvel superhero show. They animated Cap, Thor, Hulk, and Namor.
Yes.
Why Namor? By the way, he was described in the theme as exotically erotic.
Was he?
Like,
oh my God! Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to look that up right now. Hold on a second. Namor theme song. All right, Prince Namor theme song.
I did a live stream of Marvel Superheroes Face Rip for a short time, and I used that theme song.
All right, it's 18 seconds long. Are we ready to? All right, let's.
Didn't work, did it? It isn't playing, is it?
My God.
What?
Wow, Glen. I don't remember that theme song, but I do remember the animated Namor, and holy shit. Wow. For some reason, that's one I guess they didn't play too often. It was not one of the.
It's like, I kept saying, why are you devoting a series to a jerk?
Yeah. He was that. Is he a bad guy or is he a hero? Oh, shit.
Yeah. Typical Marvel BS.
Oh, yeah. We never had those issues with DC. You knew where everybody stood. But Marvel was like, I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. Is he a bad guy with good intentions or a good guy with bad intentions?
I used to like Iron Man's theme. I can't remember what it was. It was really swinging, like Tony Stark. It was something like that. It's not like something that the Rat Pack would do.
Well, see, now you're going to make me look that one up.
Oh, come on.
What?
Come on. We're way off base here.
Well, it's okay. We're allowed to be. Hold on.
You're crazy. You are crazy.
Wow. Well, see, folks, this is where you come for true entertainment. We are, you're right, that is like Rat Pack. Hey, look, they got Jane Fonda to sing. Look at that. I mean, holy I'm not saying that. Don't quote me on that one, folks. I'm just saying that is a very Rat Packish. Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space. Oh, my God.
By the way, if anybody does get the Johnny Quest Blu-ray. Yeah, get the Blu-ray, not the DVD. The Blu-ray is uncensored.
Space Ghost.
Ghost. And to
I
think that they
haven't.
have a role-playing game for this kind of stuff.
Yeah. The Centaurians, I vaguely remember.
What the heck was the role-playing
Herculoids.
game? Yeah, Herculoids. Yes. What the heck was the name of that role-playing game? Saturday. It was like 1960s, 1970s Saturday morning role-playing game.
Oh, really? For the cartoons?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. But it was like they did a second edition. They called it Season 2. Ariel Ukla, ride! I got to play Thundar in a Thundar of the Barbarians game at North Texas. And my friend Matt was Ukla. He didn't know what the heck what was. I said, how do I play this character? I said, simple. He's Chewy with a really bad attitude.
There you go. Tom, there was one episode where a witch asked Space Ghost how he resisted her power, and he said, I shit you not, superior moral character. You just won't do that today. Yeah, The Boys is a lot of fun. It's
It can be.
It's surprisingly, yeah. You know what? Live action Hulk with Lou Ferrigno surprisingly wasn't bad.
I didn't like either of them. I'd like those cartoons if it wasn't the standards and practices of the time getting in the way.
Oh yeah.
Like you can't hit this guy, you can't do this, you can't, Ugh. I remember when Hanna-Barbera decided to do the new Popeye cartoon, they wouldn't let him hit anybody. Yeah. That was like the 80s or something. The 90s or the 80s they did that. The only good thing about it was they had the original voice of Popeye on there.
Live action Superman in black and white. Yes.
What?
Remember live action Superman?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was George Reeves. Yes. George Reeves. They did a Scooby-Doo spoon? Cool.
No, I'm gonna have to check out the Venture Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're all a bit special. Get smart. I actually have the complete series on bootleg DVDs from Canada. Oh, I got
Terry says. Terry says the game was Cartoon Action Hour. Thank you, Terry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Time to lower the cone of silence. Hold on, I think it's a brief on my shoe phone. Hello, Chief.
Max, do we really have to do that?
Yes. Chief, in all protocols, we have to lower the cone of silence. I went, ah! Oh my God, they're just a great cast of characters on that show. And,
Yeah.
it stands up to time when you watch it.
It does. Well, it's what, Mel Brooks and Buck Henry? Of course it's going to stand the test of time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Land of the Lost. Land of the Lost.
Couldn't get into that. Couldn't get into that.
The Slee Stacks cometh.
So let's play some Cartoon Action Hour sometime. We can do a live. If I can find the game, we can do a live stream.
Ooh, with commentary. Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, you do. I mean, you get to. Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, Cartoon Action Hour, you don't have just do superheroes. You can do like a G.I. Joe ripoff or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Missed it by that much. And if we're talking about shows from that time, Hogan's Heroes. Oh, another time. If you can make Nazis into comedy, you're good. If you can laugh at swastikas and make people laugh with you.
That was the whole point, wasn't it?
Yep. It's something special. And most of the actors that played the Germans were Jewish, and
They
the
were either refugees or relatives and sons and daughters of refugees.
right. Well, the one that played the Frenchman, he was a Holocaust survivor.
He had the tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember Werner Kempler saying, "The only way I will play Klink, but you better not let him win ever."
Right.
He always has to lose.
Would you believe Tenkar has a Don Adams lunchbox? All right. Listen, I had 2 lunchboxes in elementary school. The first one was the one my mother thought that I should want.
Don't
The
you love that?
Waltons. All right, because my mother loved the Waltons. You could not talk anywhere in the house during the Waltons. Shut up and watch the Waltons. Don't even during the commercials, don't say anything because she's absorbing the show.
That was my mother and Peyton place.
But after that, I think I got a SWAT lunchbox by begging and pleading. Because
All I remember is the banana splits one I had.
oh, okay. Crazy Eddie. Her prices are insane.
Somebody play that guy in a role-playing game.
Oh my God, that'd be a lot of fun. Oh my God.
Susquehanna Hat Company.
Colonel, I know nothing. Should just leave.
Yeah, I never watched that show,
No?
but I was really big in McHale's Navy.
Oh, okay, another good one. Another good one.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Yes, Inspector Gadget was just cartoon Get Smart.
That's right.
The Pink Panther movies, the first 2, maybe 3, and then after.
The old role-playing trick. I like all the ones that had Peter Sellers in them. After that,
Yeah. Excuse me, does your dog bite? Do not know. It's not my dog.
So you say your dog bite? That is not my dog.
The old Tenkar in the lunchbox trick. See, you're making me do voices here. Don't make me talk to Jaime.
The old Tenkar lunchbox ploy. Always like a good ploy.
Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox. Oh boy. Now we're all showing our age. Sergeant Schultz was the best.
I just watched a Randolph Scott movie the other day, and who turns up as the bad guy is trying to turn into the law? Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane, James Best.
Oh,
young James Best.
Roscoe P. Coltrane. We're gonna get them 2 boys.
We're going nowhere fast with this show tonight, folks.
Oh, we're off the rails. We're just riffing, man. We're riffing off everything. Glen, I don't know about the sour grape.
That's a Banana Splits reference.
Okay. Because they're gonna go like Sigmund and the Sea Monster.
Uh-huh.
We gotta hide Sigmund. Put him on your surfboard. He'll just look like seaweed. Why are we carrying like 50 pounds of seaweed? Don't ask, just carry. You've got red hair.
Yeah.
Nobody will question you.
Mr. Gunn wants to know, do you have a wound for it? No, because it was taken by a minky.
A what?
A minky.
A minky? A minky?
Yes, That's what I said, you stupid idiot.
What is a minky?
It's the old minky ploy, yes.
No, it's no minky ploy. What is a minky? All right. We could actually do this off script. I mean, we are.
Did we? Troy C. Scott, yes.
Pat.
God.
Yeah.
You magnificent bastard! I read your book.
Oh yeah, when he's talking about Rommel. Yep.
I'm going to Berlin to hang that paper hanging son of a bitch.
You can catch Patton for free on YouTube. It's one of the movies. Yeah. I just rewatched it over the summertime in bits and pieces. It's a long movie. It's a fucking long movie. And I can go.
I used to have a DVD of it. I don't know what happened to it. I don't remember selling it.
Tammy, I love the voices. I've had to read lines for people all week as our show opens next week. Manhattan accent. Nailed it.
I know. I've been being in Oklahoma. I'm the go-to guy for a New York guy. Anybody from New York?
I didn't know there's a Duke's museum. Interesting.
There is?
Wow. I didn't know that. I thought Knight Rider was around the same time as the Dukes, but I
think it was.
I could be forgiven.
Danger.
Lost in space. You know, I actually enjoyed the reboot. I hate to say that. It was better than I expected. Yeah, I actually enjoyed the reboot.
If you go on YouTube, they have these series of interviews for people who were in television. It's like I can't remember the television archive, whatever they do it for archive purposes. There's a series of them on there that Jonathan Harris did before he died, and he is hilarious. I love watching the one where he tells about how he got the show Lost in Space, where he had to deal with Irwin Allen.
Wow,
very funny. I'm not going to bore you right now, but go watch it.
Hasbro produced Great Space Coaster. Great Space Coaster, come on board. Cosmic rides and fantasy to a world where, I don't know, there's shit to see. On the Great Space Coaster, come on board. The Great Space. That was on at 8 a.m. fucking school mornings. So as I'm eating breakfast, it's like we used to have good shows like Popeye on at 8 o'clock. But no, we got the Great Space Coaster. And don't even talk to me about what was the other one that we had at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Channel 11, the Magic Garden. Did anybody remember the Magic Garden? I was probably too old. I would watch it when I was homesick. And it really didn't help me, and he probably made me sick.
Sorry. I was over on the West Coast, so I didn't know.
Okay. HR puffing stuff. I don't know what he was puffing. I don't know
what the Sid and Marty were puffing.
Battlestar Galactica. I remember that when I was in junior high school.
The pain.
And the one episode of the original Lost in Space that still sticks out is where there's these plants that are making replicants with out of fruit, and the older.
So that was a Grapefruit Rebellion.
Something, and the sister is duplicated, and they find out when her skin gets pulled back, and it's like fruity flesh. And I remember the kid going, "Oh my god, that is so disgusting!" And it stuck in my head. That's the only episode I remember part of. The Longest Day.
Made me think of the Thing from Another World. I like that movie. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, okay. There was a Saturday morning live.
Oh, that was Far Out Space Nuts. That was John Denver, and I can't remember what the big guy's name is.
Gilligan and a lookalike for the skipper.
I know who it is. But I can't remember his name right now. I can see him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was another Sid and Marty Krofft. No, was that a Filmation or Sid? I don't remember.
I think it was Sid and Marty Krofft. I could be wrong. Tammy,
Yeah.
$6 million man. We can rebuild him. Yeah, it's like, no, maybe not.
So you guys are still
Tenkar
hanging
is-
in here with the. You guys are still. Is Baxter confirmed?
I don't know what you're
Meanwhile,
talking.
I got to do my Ted Night. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom headquarters,
Uh,
I
barely
don't remember
Ultraman.
Johnny Sacco's Giant Robot or Ultraman, but I do remember Astro Boy and Gigantor. And let us
Okay.
not forget Go Speed Racer Go.
Oh, Buck Rogers, right? Like, oh, whatever that beady, that fucking little robot that carried around.
That Mel Blanc did, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Space 1999. I saw a documentary on why Space 1999 was essentially two different shows between the first season and the second season, because it really was all just fucked up. But I had the Space 1999 shuttle, and I had it until I threw it off my back porch into a snowbank, and then it cracked in half. It was a pretty sizable, but if you're gonna go, you gotta go big. Logan's
The bigger go
Run.
home.
Oh my god! Actually, I like the TV series better than the movie.
I forgot.
Aaron Gray in a tight jumper, yes. Steve Austin fought Bigfoot. I thought multiple times. The Bionic Woman.
I'm glad I missed all these shows.
You missed the Bionic Woman?
I didn't watch it and I didn't miss it. I didn't miss the $6 Million Man either.
Ted Knight, greatest voice ever. Perhaps.
That's right.
Tenkar's Tavern, Twiggy. Shush.
Say what?
Bionic Woman, of course. The first was Steve Austin. That sound of, who was it? Goldman saying, "We can rebuild him."
We have the
Mhm.
technology.
Space 1999 coloring book. Bit about book. Yeah.
What was I watching during those times? Nothing. I didn't have a TV.
Bit about Planet of the Apes, Glen. Did you watch Planet of the Apes?
No.
Did you see the movies?
We have it on the shelf, but Becky
Okay.
selected that.
The first one is the best one. The others
That's
are all
what they
kind
tell
of
me. That's what they tell me.
You damn dirty apes. Land of the Giants. Vaguely remember it.
That was
Far
another
Out?
one.
Okay.
Chuck McCann, thank you. Land of the Giants was another Irwin Allen. Boo, Glenn. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Alien scared the shit out of me. That was a good movie. It was way before its time. Way before its time.
Yeah, I was the same way with Doc in the 80s.
Richard Anderson, Oscar Goldman.
I remember he died. He died about 5 years ago. Get your hands on me,
dirty.
you damn dirty egg.
Yeah, we can do it. You bastard. I love that scene when he sees the Statue of Liberty almost all covered with sand, and he realizes where he's at.
Yep. We got anything to say about role playing games? Just thought.
No, I don't know, man. Well, you can replicate a lot of the stuff with role playing games.
That's
right?
true. I've seen people do it.
Especially, the Aliens game plays really well. I gotta say.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. And the rules kind of step back. Can you run it as a campaign? No. But as a one-shot or a convention game, wow, that shit runs really, really well. Yes,
That's what Gage said about the D6, the easy D6 system. He played at the convention. I said, well, what did you think? He says, well, it's good for a one-shot at conventions or something, but I can't see playing it all the time. I said, well, I mean, I'd rather play a Phoenix Card RPG if that's between the two, which he
Okay.
hates.
All right, the AI Dr. Theopolis. I couldn't remember the name of the round thing that would talk. And it's right, AI before its time, right, folks? Who thought that they'd be thinking artificial intelligence? And
Yeah, play
now,
Mutant Future if you want that.
but Glenn, we've taken up an hour and a half.
Have we now? All right. Way to go, Doc. Thank you. Gage hates it because he can't fiddle with it like he does 5e.
Oh, well. There you go. Well, by the way, the Buck Rogers, what is the Buck Rogers movie? Oh, yeah. Buck.
No, that's I've got the Blu-ray up there. Flash
Flash Gordon. Sorry, it wasn't Buck Rogers.
Flash Savior of the universe.
Yes.
He'll save every one of us.
But himself. Jason
I remember
Yes.
I remember that.
It's a trip down memory lane, and we didn't even need Bad Mike.
That's right.
There you go.
Now you got me stuck on that.
Well, folks, I think we have entertained you for the night. And now you can have wonderful dreams of old 70s science fiction and TV shows.
So next time we do this, we will be Thursday.
We will be
not this Thursday, not the following Thursday.
The following Thursday. And I'll make sure everybody knows we got a special coming up. And then after the episode, because I love you all, I will do the regular Tavern Hangout in Discord. Because that's the kind of man I am.
Now wait a minute. How are you going to do that? It's going to overlap.
It's going to overlap. So we do this for an hour and a half, and then at like 9:30 or so, I step in the other. I kick it off late.
All right. See you, Doc.
I tell people that are on this live stream, hey, if you want to talk to us, come join us. And you never know. Somebody might say, hey, yeah, we'll join you.
Yeah. What the heck?
What the heck? And then we get to play with bad voices again.
Excuse me. Bad voices? Not me.
Bad boy.
Not be there, boy.
Oh my God! Can you play the frog? The WB frog. Glenn's getting into character right now.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
I keep finding ants. I'm gonna have to spray around here.
If you were a frog, you'd be eating the ants, man. It would be a problem solved.
Yeah, I'm not that hungry.
All right.
I'm not that hungry. Played the Frog Prince once on stage.
Folks, thank you so much. This is really.
Yeah, thanks for showing up.
We had a lot of fun, as you can tell. Glenn had, could have had a good time.
It was a lot more fun than last night's game. Last night was like we hadn't played in 2 months, and it was one of those. What did we do? I don't know. I'm high.
Who took the notes, man? Did you take the notes? I could have been a contender if you only took the notes. If you only took the notes, Glenn, could have been a contender. I know we're punch drunk and totally sober. Totally sober. I tell you. Me too. So today is what? Friday. Today is Friday. Holy shit.
Today is Friday.
Tomorrow there's a live stream on this very channel, Gamers Health. We are going to be talking about the victim card. The victim card. People that play the victim card instead of taking.
I might watch that.
Yeah. Sure. There you go. You'll have a good time.
Oh yeah. I always have.
and probably not as many funny voices, but we'll make do. We'll make do.
I'll try.
I'm not saying the voices are funny. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying voices like, "Are you calling me funny, haha," or "hee hee." I'm not talking funny like that.
You think I'm a clown or something?
No, you got to take you out in the back. Bada bing, bada boom. Take them out, eh? But we're going to be talking about the victim card. I think it's pretty apropos for things that have been going on in our hobby for the last, I don't know, year or so. So I just think we need to touch on some of that and normal health updates. Why not?
Nice seeing all you folks. Love you, Tammy. And thank you, Doc, for showing up.
Now my hair is itching. Now remember, Glen's been doing supersized podcasts.
I try anyway. They shrunk a little, but yeah.
Well, water will do that to you. But in any case, is the dog laughing or just freaking out? It's like that was a funny joke, yeah. Or he's just like,
it was a funny joke. We'll say it's funny. Okay.
It was a funny joke. God, now I just lost my train of thought. Now you know. I'm
up on the caboose.
All right, folks. Thank you so much. As always, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. There's a live stream. I will catch you then. Rach will catch you then. In the meantime,
and here's Bad Mike. Hey,
God bless. And holy shit. It's like we were just stepping out. You know what? We're going to still step out. Hi, Bad Mike. Bye, Bad Mike. You were late. You were late, sir. No dessert for you.
You lie.
You can't. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? You'd never eat your meat.
That means vegetarians never get pudding.
There. That's right. As well they shouldn't. So, no pudding for you, Bad Mike. No pudding for you. All right, folks. Good night. God help us.
Bye, folks. Don't forget Thanko's Hammer. Don't forget Radio Grognard and whatever Tenkar's got going on his channel.
Whatever. This channel. Just watch. Subscribe.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Just watch.
Just watch. Subscribe. We like to subscribe. When we hit 3,000 subscribers, we give away some drive-through cash.
We do?
We do.
Ooh, that's always good.
It's always okay. Gotta be good. Gotta be good. All right, folks.
Gotta be good.
On that note, laters.